Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. So in today's video, I'm just going to be sharing with you the 20 things that I no longer buy. I've mentioned probably 90% of these in previous videos, so I wanted to come on today and just do a kind of recap video of everything that I've either stopped buying or that I have swapped for a natural plastic-free alternative. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so in at number one is nail varnish and subsequently nail varnish remover. So this is something that I cut out, I'd say maybe a year ago now. It's just something that I don't personally feel that I need to use anymore, and more to the point is that nail varnish tends to be full of toxic, quite harsh chemicals. As somebody who's always bitten their nails, currently trying to break this habit in the last couple of years in particular, I've actually discovered that nail varnish, because of the harsh chemicals that it contains, can actually weaken the nails. So obviously on my eco journey I was cutting out toxic products anyway, and so as somebody who was trying to strengthen their nails, this seemed like a bit of an obvious one to me. I just occasionally care for them by rubbing in some excess argan oil if I've used it on my face, and just personally don't feel the need to use nail varnish anymore. Number two is makeup remover wipes. I won't go into too much detail about this because I've mentioned it many a time in previous videos, and I know I can be a bit of a talker, so I'll keep this one brief. I don't use disposable single-use makeup remover wipes anymore, so the ones that you used to get in, or I used to get in, those kind of plastic containers, and you use them once, throw them away. I use now my reusable washable cotton pads or rounds, which I've mentioned in previous videos. Number three is makeup. So I have included this in this video, even though it's quite a broad category, and I do still own some makeup, but it's not something that I use anymore. I've mentioned already in the past, I maybe usually use it once or twice, 2 or 3 times a year on special occasions. So yeah, I've included this in here because although I will look for natural alternatives, I use it so sporadically that I'll probably just invest maybe in a natural mascara cake or something along those lines, and maybe a natural lipstick, and that will be it. Okay, so number four is moisturiser. So I no longer use face moisturiser, day creams, night creams, any kind of white creams for the face. They generally contain paraffin, which is really not good for our skin. The only thing I use on my face now, and I've mentioned this in the past, is argan oil. Number five is tampons and disposable panty liners. Again, mentioned this previously, I won't ramble on about it. I use washable, reusable pants, so yeah, I no longer use any disposable sanitary wear. Number six is mouthwash. This is another thing that I no longer use. I used up what I previously owned, and now if I do feel the need for mouthwash, I make my own. So I boil some water, I let that cool obviously, and I mix a little bit of baking soda and I decant it into a little glass bottle that I have in my bathroom cabinet. Although you can buy mouthwash plastic free and containing natural ingredients, it's just personally not a product at the moment that I really desperately feel I need to replace. I can use my homemade one if I feel like it, and obviously I have my plastic-free natural toothpaste already, and it's just not a product that I feel the need to replace at the moment. Number seven is perfume. This is something that I no longer use. I am still using up an old one that I've had for years and years. It does actually come in a glass bottle, so I guess it's not the end of the world, but perfume tends to contain some very harsh chemicals, some very kind of strong toxic ingredients. And to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of moving more towards a natural way of living anyway. This is just my personal choice. I would rather kind of just continue to use natural products. If I really feel that I want to add a scent to my body, I would use maybe an essential oil, so like lavender oil for example, or I would use a roll-on blend of essential oils that I have that maybe is soothing or calming, so it's multifunctional. I don't really feel the need anymore to lather myself in a load of quite toxic perfumes. If I find a natural alternative, then that would be great, but personally just not something that I feel I need to continue consuming. Number eight is shampoo. Again, I've mentioned this in a previous video. The reason I no longer buy shampoo is because I co-wash. So I use conditioner to wash my hair, and obviously it also serves as my conditioner, so I've eliminated the need for that secondary product. I will make another video, well, I will make a video, I'm hoping about my no poo journey, if that's something that you would like to see, so my co-washing routine perhaps, or just going into more detail about cutting shampoo out. But yeah, don't want to ramble on in this video too much about that. So yeah, shampoo is also something that I no longer use. Co-washing has been the best thing that I've found so far. It works really well for my curls, and I'm really happy with not needing that extra product. Number 9 is hand soap or hand wash. So that's another thing that I don't buy. So your typical plastic pump dispensers that I used to buy in supermarkets and things like that, I don't buy them anymore. And the reason for this is that when I come to the end of my beloved, infamous olive oil soap bar that I've mentioned and raved about plenty of times, when I come to the end of that bar and it's no longer kind of manageable and it's gotten too small, so it's like the ends or the scraps of the bar, I will grate it up and I'll dissolve it in boiled water and mix that up, and then decant that into my amber glass pump bottle that I have on my windowsill that sits with my refill washing up liquid and my homemade DIY cleaner spray. And so yeah, no longer need to buy hand soap or hand wash, and literally completely zero waste. Use the ends or scraps of my bar of soap. Okay, so another thing that I no longer buy in at number 10 is baby wipes. Now I use muslin cloths as an alternative, so they are 100% cotton. I believe that's correct, that muslin cloth is actually cotton, so it's really delicate. It's washable. Baby wipes, much like makeup remover wipes, are single use, very wasteful. They contain actually fairly disruptive ingredients sometimes, even the ones that claim to be for sensitive skin. I think I probably used to use them way back along, maybe to freshen up occasionally or wipe my hands. I'm not even really sure, and looking back kind of makes me cringe because they're actually unnecessary. So if I do, for whatever reason, need to freshen up, then I just use my washable muslin cotton cloths. So in at number 11, I've kind of combined two things together, and that is toner and face wash. So I no longer use toner because I just don't really see the need for it anymore. It's another product that generally comes in a plastic bottle. It generally contains chemicals, even again the ones that claim to be for sensitive skin or that are naturally derived. It tends to be, in my opinion, a bit of an unnecessary product, and actually what I use instead is just plain old water. So the toner actually just serves as tightening up your pores. So at the end of a shower, I like to do a cold rinse. I've mentioned that in a previous video with regards to my hair, and I like to do the same on my skin as well. That tightens your pores. It does the same thing. Or I'll, splash my face with freezing cold water if I feel that I need to. And another thing that I've tried out is putting tablespoons in the freezer. Probably sounds a bit weird, but this is also a really good way to tighten up your skin. That's really all that toner does. And then moving on to face wash, I no longer wash my face with anything. I've come on a bit of a journey with my skin where I've mentioned in the past about just leaving it alone and letting it do its own thing. I don't use face washes or soaps on my skin. I find that they are actually quite drying, and actually leaving my skin alone and letting it do its own thing naturally has really helped to improve it. And so yeah, I don't use face wash anymore. If I do want to kind of gently wash my face, then in the shower I will use again my reusable cotton pad or round that I have under warm water and just really gently go over like that. And occasionally I also oil cleanse, so that's a really great way to kind of minimize the amount of products that I own, because I just use my generic argan oil that I use for my face as a moisturiser. I think it's becoming more popular, so yeah, I don't use face wash or face toner anymore. Number 12 is shower gel. I've mentioned this in the past. I use my olive oil, basic as anything, bar soap. No longer buy plastic bottles of shower gel. Don't find them necessary. My bar of soap is completely chemical free. It's great for sensitive skin. It's very basic. It isn't drying, and I don't need anything else. Number 13 has already been mentioned in previous videos, and that is face or body scrub. So I went on I went through a bit of a phase of trying natural alternatives to your standard conventional plastic squeezy bottles of face scrub and things like that, where I used coffee grounds, so repurposed coffee grounds, and also brown sugar. Actually did a lot of research. I won't go into this again because I've already mentioned this in the past, but how actually those particles or those DIY face scrubs actually can cause micro tears in the delicate skin on our face. The skin on our face is a lot more delicate than the rest of our body and needs a lot more gentle care. And actually, I've mentioned already in the past that I use my reusable cotton round, which literally does everything for me, it would appear. So yeah, if I do really feel that there are any rough patches anywhere, I'll just use it again in the shower under warm water and just really gently in circular motions, just to kind of buff away those areas where I can feel dry skin. But I don't scrub my face anymore, and my skin is massively improved. The skin on our face is really delicate. In terms of my body, I've never really used a body scrub, I don't think, but I have a loofah sponge instead that hangs up in the shower and is compostable at the end of its life and has a lovely kind of exfoliating effect when I feel like doing that kind of thing. Number 14 is air freshener or room spray. Now, I can still just about recall going around the house with those dreadful kind of Febreze or aerosol cans of room freshener and spraying it all around, inhaling all those awful toxins, and I just don't buy it anymore. I don't see the need for it. I have an essential oil diffuser. If I wanted to give the house a particularly nice scent, but I tend to just open the windows, or I find that using my natural cleaning product, as in my natural cleaning spray, and not using harsh chemicals anymore, actually in itself kind of helps with freshening up the house. So yeah, open the window, or I use my essential oil diffuser with some lavender usually in that one instead of. Aerosols are really bad for the environment, and the chemicals that are in air fresheners and room sprays are also just something that I don't want in my life anymore. Number 15 is laundry detergent. I cut this out right back at the very start of my journey over 2 years ago now, and I use baking soda that I buy in a paper bag in bulk from my local Chinese supermarket. I also have soap nuts that I'm still using up. They are lasting me a very long time, and I also occasionally add in a tiny bit of white distilled vinegar that I refill at my local zero waste store. Number 16 is dry shampoo. I can remember the dreadful, again, aerosol cans, spray cans of Batiste, I think the really popular brand is, of dry shampoo. Really just very drying for the scalp, for the hair. You're just piling chemicals on top of it. It's, yeah, drying, not very friendly. I don't use it anymore. I don't actually even really use my alternative much anymore, but what I do is I make a homemade kind of DIY one. I use pure raw cocoa powder, organic. Doesn't have to be organic, but I use organic pure raw cocoa powder. I got this from a refill store, and I also add a bit of pure arrowroot powder to that, mix that up together, and I've repurposed an old makeup brush, and that does the job perfectly well, chemical free, harm free. So yeah, no plastic involved, no aerosol cans. So that's what I use as a replacement for dry shampoo, but again, really sporadically, very rarely use this. 17 is cleaning wipes and sprays. Again, I've mentioned this lots in the past. I no longer use disposable cleaning wipes or surface wipes or Dettol wipes or whatever it was that I used to use. And I also no longer buy conventional cleaning sprays, or I don't buy any cleaning sprays. I make my own. I'll pop a link up above to how I make that. Really simple, just leftover citrus peels and soaked in vinegar. So yeah, cleaning sprays and cleaning surface wipes, another thing, or things that I don't use anymore and will never be buying again. Number 18 is disposable razors. I mentioned this in a previous video, my 10 bathroom products. So I use a safety razor. It has a wooden handle. It's entirely plastic free. It comes with a pack of, well, it came with a pack of 5 blades. And yeah, I'm still on the first blade. I'm not sure whether I probably should be changing that, but I don't really actually shave that often anymore. I don't feel like I really need to that much. And yeah, so I used to buy the dreadful pink 5-pack of Bic, I think the brand is, of disposable razors. So I no longer buy disposable razors. I have my safety razor instead. Number 19 is cling film. This is something I've mentioned in a previous video as well, or I think it was my zero waste hack video. I'll double check that, and I'll pop a link up above for you if you want to go and check that one out. And that is because I use the the plastic wrapping around mushroom punnets. I couldn't think of what it was then. So yeah, if you can't buy loose mushrooms, which obviously I would generally advise, if that isn't possible, so for example, I'm a lover of reduced food, as I've mentioned loads of times in the past. If you actually flip over the mushroom punnets, they tend to be wrapped in a cling film. If you really gently unpeel that, you can actually end up with a completely square kind of flat sheet of cling film that's perfectly good enough to use for covering dishes or whatever it is you want in the in the fridge. So yeah, so that's what I use. I haven't bought cling film, I think possibly coming up to 3 years now, and I still have a roll of it in the drawer, the kitchen drawer, so I feel quite proud of that. And I have a whole bag collected of mushroom punnet wrapping, so that's my alternative to cling film. And then finally, number 20 is kitchen roll. I've mentioned this again in the past. I use an old bathroom towel that I no longer liked the colour of, and I cut that up into 8 pieces, and my grandma, bless her, she stitched around the edges for me, and that is what I use to absorb anything, clean anything, wipe anything up. If I go camping or if we go for a barbecue or anything outdoors, I use that as, you know, as an alternative to kitchen roll, and it's absolutely brilliant. When you've finished with it, just pop it in the washing machine and just start again. There's no waste. I haven't bought kitchen roll for several years now, so yeah, so that's my replacement. It does everything I need to, and I put an old bath towel to good use. So there we have it. There are my 20 things that I no longer buy. I know that I have a tendency sometimes to ramble, and I am trying to be more confident on camera. I think the rambling tends to happen when I get nervous, so please bear with me. I'm trying my best to get better at that. I hope you found this video helpful. I just wanted to kind of recap, like I said, the 20 things that I no longer buy into one video, just to show you, I guess, where I've come on my journey, and maybe help you to cut certain things out of your life if that's what you want to do. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm really grateful for your support. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. It will help me to grow, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, stay safe.